Bonus content.
Made it.
Exactly. Diddle diddle.
What is going on, everybody? Fuck me. Eggplant.
And we're recording now for the patrons. Hello, patrons. Sorry. It's a little better.
Made it.
Yes, indeed.
We're in here. We're in it. It's happening.
I'm on the pod, almost.
You are actually, because of misconfiguration, I wasn't recording audio there for a second until just now. So now we're recording audio. Here we are. We're live.
So now we're actually
What up,
recording.
Patreons?
There you go.
I'm on the pod.
We're in it. We are in it.
Pod
This
is
is the
in
thing
you.
that you pay the big bucks for.
That's right. So now that I'm in it, do I get some of those sweet Patreon bucks, or what's the deal here? How much do I get paid for being a guest?
This is a conversation we keep having, is that, once we are cash positive, we can start having those conversations. But that ain't happening.
I'm doing my part to help out.
That's true. That's true.
100%.
Your cash is among the cash that will have us be positive. It's certainly true.
That's not an indictment on the people who choose to contribute.
Not at all.
It's more of, having to pay off gear.
Cost management.
Overhead. I totally
websites.
get it.
Yeah. We can share with the
We have
patrons
actually
though.
built a little.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well,
No. So we built like a little empire here with stuff and real estate.
it's the guy who calls balls and strikes, right?
What he said.
I've listened to some of the initial episodes. I've gone back a little bit during the holiday season when the rest of the podcast feed was pretty light, and without the theme music and without the outro bumper, it really just kind of makes it more professional.
It does.
Just somehow having those things there.
It's true.
It just bookends the conversation really well.
Yeah.
We slowly but surely kind of figured out how to do this.
Yeah. It almost seems like we know what we're doing now.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I have my vocal mic plugged in through my Helix pedal board for the first time ever.
Cool.
I've never actually plugged a mic in there.
Yeah, I haven't.
Well, that's one
I
thing
had
I
the
learned from
LT.
you guys, actually, to get the Helix. We'll get into that, but
Yeah.
I've attached some of the cool effects you can do with the guitar to my mic. So I got the little
Is that an octaver?
That's
playing. Yeah, like a double octaver.
Sweet.
On the new Helix up.
It's awesome.
Sweet.
Sound like Jabba the Hutt.
So I've been playing with this all day, trying to see what vocal noises I can make. It's pretty fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, this is what the first. Honestly, what we normally do during this conversation is talk about what we're going to talk about. But you did such a fantastic job.
Yeah, you're going to lead the way on this one.
Setting the run of events that we kind of know where we're going, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you guys kind of do the structure, but that's just the way I like to do things. I like to think about it a lot, and I just kind of want to arrive as prepared as possible. It's the same way I am with my band.
Yeah, I think that's something we want to talk about, right? I think we want to get into what it looks like when you walk in fully cold, right? It's the whole thing is so prepared. There's just no.
Most definitely.
This is one of the few parts of my life that I'm fully comfortable with just kind of winging it. Very little I'm okay with presenting in that fashion, but this is not it.
It's just like when you get on stage. I remember my first hundreds of shows. I was completely introverted and nervous and hiding behind the guitar. And now that I've done it, I don't know the exact number, but maybe it's over 1,000. I really don't know. And I feel at home on stage.
Yeah.
When I'm there and I'm talking to the crowd, I just it's like there's no barrier anymore.
Yeah.
And that was huge for me to get that confidence from playing guitar. I started on bass, we'll get into all that, but from playing bass guitar with bands, I just kind of built this confidence that I never had growing up. And the same thing with your podcast here. It's I'm sure the first few episodes you kind of were more nervous and
oh my God.
You can hear it.
Oh yeah.
Now you just go with it,
You can absolutely hear it.
Yeah.
That's I joke about my podcast voice and how terrible it was when we started.
Yeah, we were both trying to do an NPR thing. This is Cover Band Confidential.
My mic. This is the mic I use on stage.
No,
so
That's good. Yeah, all good.
Perfectly clear.
Just a tad, a reverb, just a touch on the Helix.
I don't even know we get. I think it may be too gated on my end.
Yours.
I'll have to take you at your word.
Yeah, yours is. I have some compression on both of you already, and then I'll put you through a thing that is called Auphonic, which is it detects multiple speakers and levels them. It just processes a stereo, not a multi, but then it fixes different levels and it adds a bunch of nice compressions and de-essings and very nice. It's what makes it sound crispy. It sounds really good coming out of the podcast.
Eggplant?
No, the eggplant's a different thing. The eggplant is Descript is what we're using for that. So it transcribes the whole thing, and then I can edit it in words rather than in waveforms. And it's a lot easier to cut out when we fuck up, which happens all the time.
Yeah. But apparently Adobe Audition or whatever the Adobe editor thing is.
Yeah.
Its name escapes me.
Me too.
It can do text-based editing now too.
Nice.
Which is pretty impressive.
That's the way to go. I don't think Final Cut is there.
And then the other thing, Descript can learn your voice, and you can give it a script, and it will say the script in your voice. It's kind of terrifying.
It's weird hearing your guys' voices in an interactive way. It's usually this one-way conversation.
Yeah.
And then I'll like chime in on the Slack Patreon with some feedback.
But, right.
This is fun, man. I'm gonna have a good time.
All right. Well, should we just jump in?
Yep.
Oh wait. I do think let's give the patrons a little update about. There's been some movement on the conference thing.
Yep.
Sure.
Not a ton, but some.
Your mouth to God's ears, Moskowitz. You're getting the scoop.
That's right. So this is strictly between us. This is not for anyone else to say, but I do want to. I'm excited about it, and so I want to share that we reached out to GigGab and said, hey, if anybody's going to co-host this with us, it's you. And Dave said, well, let me talk to Paul, and I'll get back to you. But on the first glance of the idea, I like it. So maybe we'll do it together. That'd be pretty cool. And the other thing is, I happen to be talking to Arlo at Band Helper. Do you use Band Helper, Adams? I know.
Get into why I went a different way.
Okay, well, one of our Adams uses Band Helper, the other does not. And I was talking about something else, and I said, look, we have this idea. There'll be sponsorship. He was like, yeah, keep me posted. I'm interested. Like, we're clear. We're in his market. So I also built a whole sponsorship program structure thing that is ranges from, as total made up numbers, from $1,000 to $10,000. There are packages, and at the $10,000 level, you get, among other things, like a demo room at the conference, like a dedicated set up your gear and have people come in and make noise in it kind of room. I don't know. It was fun to think about. I don't know if it'll ever come to anything.
It was pretty terrifying to read it. I was like, man, this is like...
We've got a lot of stuff.
Very like tangible.
It's like official, right? Yeah, no, we're promising a logo on the swag bag and like their merch in the attendee, goodie bag. I made up that we're having a goodie bag so that I could put it on the list. It wasn't a thing before I was making this list.
Big yikes.
That's how these things happen. It's just like a kernel of an idea. And you take one step in that direction. I mean, that's why you guys have this podcast. You said you met randomly online, and then next thing you know, you're like, hey, you want to do this together?
Yep.
Maybe both of you on your own weren't motivated or inspired enough to kind of just do a solo podcast, and maybe you
or interesting or compelling enough.
That too.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have a partner in crime for this sort of thing to bounce ideas off of. And look at you guys now. You went from literally 0 listeners to now pontificating about a potential conference along with the other big podcast in the niche.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I don't know if I can 1,000% attend, but I'm 1,000% there in spirit.
Well, you're going to be presenting, so you're 1,000% attending.
Well, all right. We'll talk.
Yeah,
that's not optional, my friend.
We got plans.
Yeah, we'll schedule it around you, buddy. All right. Well, shall we? Traditionally, we start this by saying the words "deedle deedle," and that came out of I used to play the deedle 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 deedle, but I don't actually play that anymore. But to get us started, I just say, "Are you ready? Deedle deedle."
All right.
And then I have to come up with something on the spot. But since it's an interview, I don't have to worry about anything.
Oh, we can come back and fill in the intro later. That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this week is Eggplant.
Eggplant.
You keep disappearing though. Yeah, that's how we do.
Lean back.
Every time you lean back, it's like he gone.
Like he disappeared.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
This is actually a picture of my band on stage.
Yeah.
Local Margaritaville.
We figured.
That's me right there.
Nice.
Pointing. And I do this thing. I don't do it at every show, but when we play like a concert show, like where we're not like any sort of background music, when we do a concert, I really like to have a moment in the show where, and I'll share this with you. I think is this still going out to the Patreon?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
So when you talk to the crowd, when you banter in between songs, I want to recommend that you have one of your musicians, whether it's keyboards or guitar, just play some music lightly, like as a bed. You're communicating to the crowd, and that alone allows it to breathe more, and it allows it to be this thing that's musical. You can talk in a way, you could thank the crowd, you can really let them know that you're a band that's very grateful to have the opportunity to perform for them. That we're just a bunch of regular dudes. We're sitting in our man caves and playing guitar, and we get this like incredible gift of life to get out in front in the public and like do our thing musically. Like music is magic, and I believe that to my the core of my heart. Like I've had so many incredible transcendent moments, just musically, with now hundreds of different musicians, and I'm like really, really grateful for that aspect of my life. I think that people that don't have it, they're missing out on something, and there's nothing wrong with it, but we get this like magical thing that we can like tap into.
Yes.
On weekends here and there, or however often you get to play. Like it's really a gift.
Yeah.
It's one thing like we didn't really talk about, and I was thinking about like, how do I find a way to like bring this into the conversation? And it's like your general just kind of like energy, because you exude this very like Zen kind of mindset.
Yeah.
But what I realized as we were talking is that I didn't need to.
Yeah. Right. No, I had exactly the same thought. Like, wow, I want to point this out, but why would I diminish it by pointing it out?
It is very apparent.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's one thing I really did, because like you do, like, as a person who struggles with the finding the magic in things at times, it's cool to have people around you that are like, "Hey, dummy, just like stop for a second."
Yeah, that's good stuff. One thing that I thought about coming back to, that you talked about before we started going, was that experience on stage when it's just you're just frickin' home. I don't know. I spend my whole day at work handling other people's emergencies flying at me, and I deal with them, to the best I can. I got a great team and, all of that. And then getting to the gig is often stressful. Getting set up is often stressful. But man, the minute downbeat happens, I'm fucking home. And the worst thing that can come up is still within home. Right? It's still my domain. It's still, I can't imagine a thing that would really mess me up bad once I'm home after downbeat. And it wasn't always that way. It used to be playing felt like very much exposed and, like a threat. But something you said before we started recording reminded me of like how much, man, just the minute the show starts, there's nothing that can mess with me, because I am so fully me, the moment that show starts.
Yeah, I really feel that. And part of the energy I bring in life and I bring to my band and my interactions with my bandmates, it's that, you guys talk about abundance philosophy, and for me, I really, I don't believe there's any other way. I feel like that, how do I put it in words? It's this feeling for me, and I cultivate it in my life. All right. So I do public speaking, and I'm also a registered officiant. I've done weddings before. I've really tried to step out of my comfort zone as much as possible and push myself to grow. And the band and music has been such a huge part of that. Getting comfortable on stage, getting comfortable talking into a microphone, and sharing my thoughts with you guys, with the public. There's value in getting comfortable there, and the way that I do that is a few things. I'm big on like meditation. I try to do it every day. I'm big on just taking deep breaths and visualizing the show before it happens. Like typically the night before a show, I'm thinking about how things will go. Like we have a show this Friday. I'll talk about that for a second. I mentioned on the Slack that, the Super Bowl or the Superb Owl is on Sunday. So I thought, it'd be fun if we kind of like added like a football type theme to our show this weekend. So I'm literally today I'm programming. I have like the NFL theme song that we're gonna come out to, and I like found an announcer voice online that's gonna be like, and now VAM Band coming to the field. I mean stage, and just like, and then we're gonna do like Rihanna songs in the very middle of the show. We're gonna do 2 Rihanna songs because she's playing the halftime show on Sunday. So it's just little things. I try to like make it more than just an average show. I try to like incorporate the season, the holidays, what we're going through personally, and make it special, make it unique. And I think about it a lot when I'm like trying to go to sleep. I'm like, what can I do that's cool? What, you know, how can I make it unique so that people that come see us want to come see us again? You know, that's what I'm thinking about. And we're lucky that we've had some fans, like I don't make t-shirts, and we've had some fans go and find my logo on the website and print their own t-shirt.
Wow.
And I'm like, that is one of the coolest things in the world. I really appreciate that people love what we're doing. And not everybody does. That's cool. It's not for everybody. And that's cool too. Like I'm good either way because and I want to just mention for a second that feeling like waking up on the day of a gig. You know, I've heard you guys mention it in the past, like, yeah, if the gig got canceled, like I'd be fine. And yeah, I totally would be. But you got to say, like that morning when you wake up and you know you have a gig that night, that's a magic feeling too.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And maybe I didn't sleep super great because the whole night I was kind of like, ooh, that's coming. Yeah. No, I absolutely know that experience too.
But it's something to look forward to that not everybody has in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
We work day jobs. We do our Monday through Friday thing. We get a couple hours off on the weekend, but we get this like incredible experience. And yeah, we get less breaks and less downtime. That's one of the sacrifices. But we get these incredible opportunities to like perform and to like speak with our instruments. And how cool is that? That's one of the coolest things a human could do in my experience.
Yeah. And to be who I am, you know, there is a me that exists on stage that doesn't exist anywhere else.
It's true.
And
I kind of feel like people that in my life have never seen me perform, I feel like they like don't really know the feeling.
Right.
Like come to a show and then I feel like, okay, now we have like that avatar connection. Like now you know me.
Exactly.
It's for real. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And you know, it's been really cool that like being in a band that has public shows to have a meeting place for friends and family. Like my parents are like super fans. They now live 2 hours away and they like drive our shows all the time.
Awesome.
And like all of my friends and musician friends know my parents because they're like always there dancing. And I've met so many cool people in my life. I continue to meet cool people in life because of music, because I picked up a bass guitar when I was 15 years old. I continue to like have these awesome connections with other human beings through the language of music. And I don't take that for granted for a second. I try to always find gratitude for that. And like Adam, you were talking about how sometimes it's like hard to like find that spark, hard to get there. And of course I go through those things too. You know, we're all human. Life can like, you know, really knock you down sometimes. But when I come back to gratitude, like that's the secret sauce. And it sounds corny, but it's so true. If you can just find like, maybe your band isn't perfect, but just think about 3 things that are cool about it and like focus there. Yeah. And maybe, you know, you're having trouble with your drummer, your singer. Maybe you didn't get the gig you want. There's a lot good going on that if you focus there just for a moment, that's where the juice is.
Oh yeah. Couldn't agree more. The, you know, we did the karaoke thing on Monday and it could have gone a lot of different ways and it went fucking great.
So you had somebody you had hired to like advance the screens? Is that how you described it?
Well, Amber was more or less the MC and she was also doing the operation because you have to have somebody over there to man the, like watch the list. And at some point, if we do it a lot, you know, automating it is something we could do. And actually karaoke version sells the video stuff too. You could literally throw your existing backing track, throw the video in, tell Final Cut to sync them up, and you've got a video with your tracks in it that you could just play from like Band Helper.
Right.
So, but that's a problem for future me to figure out.
Yeah.
I spent Past me
Yeah.
spent all this week trying to figure out how to find a Ventura compatible laptop that would send an HDMI signal to a computer screen with 60 hertz refresh rate.
Ooh,
That was my week.
it's a very
But I figured
specific
it out.
problem.
Yeah.
Some of the tech nerdery that we have to get into to make all this stuff work together it's challenging. Like, trust me, I've been there. Like, when I first started messing with MIDI, I could not get anything to work. It took me very long to figure
Well,
out.
because then you're like, well, I put C2 at
This should talk to
127.
me
It's like,
through
yeah, well, what channel is it on?
Right.
And you're like, oh God.
Yep. Well, one of the side effects of me having this like lyric teleprompter now is that we could potentially do live band karaoke. Like, we're
It'd be an easy flip.
Yeah.
fully set
Yeah.
up for it. Like 1,000%, every song has the lyrics. So I just pitched it to the booker at Margaritaville that we play at. They actually have two venues there. One is the band shell, which you see in my picture right now.
Yeah.
It's like outdoor, awesome venue. And then they have a second venue, which is indoor in the restaurant, which isn't as fun. It's more of a little bit background vibe, but it's still good. People get up and dance. And that would be the one where we could do live band karaoke. And I pitched it to the guy. We'll see if he bites. But, maybe next time, if we have another conversation in the future, I'll be like telling you how much money I'm making with this live band.
There you go.
It can be very lucrative.
Yeah.
But it's more of it's more gear though. So I mean, you have to come prepped for
I already
that.
got it. I'm already
That's
doing it.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm
For me,
bringing
carrying a TV around.
So I have this monitor that I'm looking at right now that I got from my day job. Like, they working remote, they give you a monitor to take home.
Yeah,
to you.
that's what I use.
And I literally just pack that up every weekend and bring it to my gigs. So I'm very thankful I got that for free. But they have monitors that aren't that expensive now.
No.
I was given they were giving them out because they were getting rid of a bunch of these older ones, and I grabbed two of them thinking I could sell them. Nobody wants them, and you can't you can't throw them away because LCDs have weird things in them that you can't recycle. So when we went to do the gig, I got it all set up. Everything was working just fine. And at the end of the night, as we were packing up, I was like, "Anybody want a monitor?" And the front of house guy who we hired was like, "Actually, I was just about to buy one." I was like, "Take it, it's yours," because I have another one, so I didn't need to, and I got to do a mitzvah.
A mitzvah. That is a mitzvah.
If I go into my office, I could probably.
Yeah.
Nobody ever goes there.
When I started my
Empty place.
job about a year ago, they sent me a 32-inch Samsung.
Oh.
And it's gorgeous. And, I have enough little windows that I can really work well in it. And I loved it so much, I bought another one for myself. So I'm looking at right now your faces on my personal version of that same monitor. But it's big enough that I could put it at the foot of the stage and have good teleprompting off of it. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything worked with Purpose Center for the most part. A couple, like, sometimes you're trying to thread the needle of too many words and too big a text. You're trying to find like the happy medium between those two was kind of challenging on a couple of tunes.
And having the next lyric available before it needs to be sung.
Right.
Yeah, so like we struggle with that a little bit with Respect. We added like 3 new tunes. We did I Will Survive, which we've never done before.
We do that all the time.
We do that all the
We did
time.
Respect. We did. There was another
What do you
one.
do for that pause? In I Will Survive, there's that hold on the E7 chord.
Well, so in ours, like, because we have the lyrics there, it just says hold, like big in a big
How do you
brackets.
come back in?
I think we just count it because everybody's on click, so we just come back in when it starts.
Okay.
We
See, with
feel our way
version,
back in.
what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. We feel our way back in, and it comes in soft again. It comes in like out of time.
See, I like to slam it back in. Like, oh, now go. And I had the idea to, extend. Dan, you talked about like on long train running, you'll like hold out.
Yes. Yes.
That brief pause
Yes.
that cuts out. So
Yes.
I try to do the same thing. So the way I did it is I have a space, and our singer typically like does like some cool vocal runs, and then it comes back in with an 8 count. So like the click cuts out for a moment. And then it comes back in with an 8 count, and she knows to come back in on the 1 of the next bar.
That's the thing. If you're clicking, we do. We just added "Everybody Talks" Neon Trees, and there's that moment in that song where it's "Everybody talks to ma," and we're not on a track for that. We're not on a click. So I let that hang as long as the room will allow it, which is I let it get uncomfortable, and then I bring it back in vocally. Right, started with that. We come back in, right. which is not, it's a flexibility you don't have on track. You gotta have to, I hadn't really thought through that. If I was going to put that on track, I would need to program it, right? I need to, how long can I let that hang in the average room, right?
All right. With Reaper, you can set markers up that like you can have actions based on those markers. So you could actually set up where you could like have it stop on that part of the song, and then you could reactivate the track.
Wow.
And, spacebar.
Wow.
You could bring it back in.
Yeah.
I do some of that automated markers. Like I'll have, we connect certain songs, like we go play the funky music right into Brick House.
Yeah.
And those are 2 separate tracks, but I have it using a marker. It'll automatically jump to the next song right where I need it to land.
Yeah, we have that set up in Ableton the same way with Ableset doing it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I could talk to you guys forever. I really enjoy this. I would love to do it again sometime in the future.
We could.
If you guys want. I just want to, I want to share one last thing, and then we could close it up for the night. Cool?
Yeah.
Do it.
So you guys shared on the show that you were like, you kind of were both out of work at the same time.
Yes.
And that was prior to the Patreon Slack community that we now have. That's, again, awesome. And I had been let go at a similar time in the job I was working. They they outsourced to the Philippines or whatever, and they let me go. And I was out of work for like 6 months, and I really like those episodes. Maybe you guys felt weird about it. You're like, we're not as inspired as we normally are, because there's something about having like that momentum of, you're getting your check from your day job, and that somehow gives you, like, when you have little time to work on your music, you like squeeze it in. But when you have like the whole day, it's like, I don't know, I'll lay on the couch a little, I'll do some other things, and then you never get to the music, right? So there was something about those episodes that I really connected with, and I didn't get to share with you at the time because we didn't have our group, but it really sort of helped me through that period, and you guys have been in my ears a lot because, like I said, I love talking about this stuff. I love learning about it. So maybe we can just close with me saying thank you.
Well, this has been, I feel equally blessed in this conversation. It's been awesome.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And the being able to like just be in this constant conversation with like all of you guys has been so cool. And it's been an absolute, like, beyond just like the good information, it's just beneficial.
Yeah.
Because like we have guys from all different walks of life, guys with different experiences, politics, beliefs, whatever. But like the amount of positivity that I feel like this group has generated just across the country, and like the markets that we have infiltrated one way or the other, with this kind of mindset is like just helping people and making them feel good. That's,
yeah.
That's the I didn't expect that,
Completely. And especially as we're now like contemplating what an in-person something might look like. We started the podcast, and as you know, Adam, we are for several years, we had a joke about like, so listener, because
the audio sucks.
Yeah. There was nobody, we were talking to nobody, but it turned out not nobody. It turned out it was the beginning of something. And we continued. And the fact that people are out there taking our lead and running with it as much as you have is, you said like, well, I'm just a guy who plays guitar in my basement. I don't know. I'm just a guy with a mic. I have a bar band. We're no pork tornadoes, whatever. Somebody listening to me, that's probably a mistake on their part. But to think that
the new strain.
That's right. To think that we're doing something that's pushing something forward in your world and in your life is I did not expect to have that kind of impact. I did not expect that.
Yeah. Well, you did.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. Yeah, suck it up, because that's happening.
Good talk, gents.
Yeah.
Peace out to the Patreons. Thanks for listening, fellas and ladies.
Happy Wednesday,
All right.
folks.
All right. So, Adam, we need to do our intro, which we can just knock right out here, and I'll put it all together.
All right. Should I log out?
All right.
Is that it for me?
Yeah, brother.
Yep.
Love you.
Peace out, brothers. Much love.
Take care.
Take care.
Later.
I'm not.
Yeah, we don't need to tag.
No, why be? No, it speaks for itself.
Well, it was long enough.
True. We're at an hour 46 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's worth
had a
it.
lot to say.
Yeah, but every piece of it's gold.
no, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
So, and for a first podcast, I mean, geez, I ain't holding
No. No complaints. Yeah.
no notes. But I am gonna go to bed now.
Please do. I will catch you next week.
All right, dude.
All right, brother.